Hello and welcome back to this guided access assignment. I'm walking you through this Northwind Traders database query. We're on step 4. So you opened up your database, you need to get back to the query, and I'm going to do a right click here and go to design view. And now it says we want to, let me scroll over here so you can see everything. It says we want to add criteria to limit the query result to include any order that took more than 30 days. So if we run this, we can see we have, we'll scroll over here. Here's the ship date. So we only want to see those that are above 30. So when we go back to the query, we look at this row here, and you'll notice out to the side, it says criteria. So under the field name that you want to do a criteria on, you put in what you want to limit it by. So for us, we're going to do greater than 30 here. Notice that we have multiple rows here. If we put something else on the line below that, that means it's an or condition, or greater than 30 or something else. If we have something on the same row here as in the criteria, those become and conditions. So this has to be met and this has to be met. Okay, and it works the same way in Excel when you're using database functions. So now we've got that. It doesn't really say run it yet, but I like to go ahead and save, and we'll run it. And when I scroll over here, and now you see that's only listing those greater than 30. Greater than 30 is different than greater than or equal to 30. If I had said greater than or equal to 30, we would see days that had 30 in here, and you would be counted wrong. So make sure you pay attention to say when it says more than, greater than, and it doesn't say anything about equal to. All right, let's go back to the design view. So I'll do a right click here, design view. I can make these shorter so maybe you can see them. Bring them all in. So step 5 says add the quantity field from the order details table and the product name field from the products table to the query in that order. Sort the query in ascending order by company name. All right. So the order details table is not here. We don't see it. So if I do a right click here, you can see where it says show table. We're going to double click on the tables we want. So we need order details, and we also need the products table because that contains a field we want as well. So we'll go ahead and close this. There's a close button at the bottom. So we want the quantity field, this one. And when I double clicked it, or you can drag and drop it down there, you can see it added it to the last spot in our output here. And we want the product name from the products table. Notice how all these tables had to be connected. So everything that matches in each one of these tables will now be displayed as a single record. Okay, step 6 says add the caption days to ship to the days to ship field. Okay. There are a couple ways to do it. Probably the easiest thing for you to do is to click on the property sheet here. That opens this up over here. Notice that we have the caption here, and I literally type days to ship with the spaces in there and the capitalization and everything to match what they're asking for. Notice that I needed to be on the field that I want the property sheet to open for. Otherwise, you're going to have a caption for something else. All right, so now switch to datasheet view, the final results. Save and close the query. So I'm going to go to datasheet view, and you'll notice here what we've done. The caption is what the user sees. So days to ship, so that's the new caption at the top. If there isn't a caption, then the field name is displayed at the top. Now, typically it's the caption that you want in the report, the output. Most people, if these are real cryptic names, they shouldn't be that cryptic, but they need to make sense to whoever's reading this. Now, I would go ahead and say that if we go back to design view, and we look at ship date, but you don't see the space there, but when we go to the output, it is listed there. So they must have the caption done already. There was one last thing that I didn't show you. Let's go back to design view. It wanted in step 5, we have to sort the query by in ascending order for company name. So if we click here where it says sort and we do ascending here, then that's how that's done. Notice we can have multiple sorts. So this going from left to right becomes the first sort that has something listed becomes the first sort or the primary sort. The next one becomes the secondary sort, and so on. So now you can see it's ordered a little differently. All right, so we're going to save and close this query and finish out step 6. So we'll close all. Step 7 says create a query using query design and add the orders, order details, products, and customer table. Add the fields order ID, order date, and that order from the orders table. Set both fields total rows to group by. So I'm going to create a new query. I'm going to go to create, query design. We add the tables that we need. Then we add the fields that we need in the order that they're specified. And the last thing it says is that set both fields total rows to group by. So to get the total rows, we're going to click here and notice what it does down here in your other panel. I'm going to click on this sum sign and notice it adds a total row here. So that's group by, and we're going to leave it as that. But you could get other types of aggregate functions here. Okay, so we're going to do a group by and move on to Step 8. Step 8 says add a calculated field to the third column. Name the field extended amount. So that works just like the expression from the last example. So I'm going to type extended amount in here, colon, and then create the function or formula. Continuing on, it says the field should multiply the quantity ordered from the order details. So quantity ordered, so that's quantity. By the unit price for that item. So in order to do that, I had to bring these two fields into my query. But I don't want them to show up in my query as output, so I'm going to uncheck them here. But I am going to have to use them in my expression. So extended amount, it wouldn't let me just start here without those two being there, so I had to delete it, add those two fields, and come back. And so now I'm going to put quantity times unit price. So it gives me that. Notice I still have a total here, but it tells me what I really want for this field is I want the sum of all of this information. Okay. Then it says format the calculated field as currency. So while I'm still sitting here, when I go to property sheet, notice here I've got the format. I can click here, move that over just a little bit for you. And under format, I will select currency. And change the caption to total dollars. So on my output, it won't be extended amount, it will be total. And I need a space there. So let me also say something about the caption. The caption is what gets displayed on the output when it's queried or if it's in a report or something. These expressions that you see here are how the functions or formulas are created with these names. I couldn't use total dollars down here anywhere. So just remember, this is, if I wanted to use the output of this field as another part of a formula, I would use extended amount. I wouldn't use total dollars. Total dollars caption is just for display. This one is for doing calculations. It's like using a range name in Excel. So here's the name you can use to build other functions or formulas. Step 9 says add a calculated field in the fourth column. Name the field discount amount. The field should multiply the number of items ordered, the price per item, and the discount field in that order. This will calculate the total discount for each order. Format the calculated field as currency and add the caption discount amount. Change the total row to sum, run the query, save the query as order summary, and return to design view. Okay, so that's what I'm going to start doing now, but I need to either delete these or move these over somehow. So that's what I'm going to do. So notice here's what I did. I typed in the name of the expression, discount amount, colon. Then I just typed in quantity times, and for unit price, that's what this database is using for price. And then the discount field is over here. Notice I didn't put discount as a field anymore, so I don't really need it in order to do the calculations. Now, in this, I needed to set the caption for this particular field. So if I'm here, the caption is going to be discount amount, period. If you leave the period off, you're going to get counted off. Change the total row to, again, sum. Run the query. So I'm going to click on the run here. And if we widen this up, we can see it all. So you can see we've got total dollars, discount amount. That's for each order ID and the order date. Now, I need to go back, go to Design View, and I need to remove, and so I did this so I could show you how to remove things as well. I need to remove these because this needs to be in the fourth column, and that's what it'll be checking for. So if I highlight that, I can then do a cut, do a right click right on this little gray area at the top, do a cut, and now we see that this is in the fourth column. Now we need to also format this as currency. So I've got my property sheet view open for that particular field. I want to do right here, I'm going to change that to currency. I'm going to run it again. That looks good now in terms of output. And I need to save it. And we need to call this order summary. And I'm going to pause this video, or I'm going to stop this video, and when we come back, we'll be able to finish this up.